If you've used user testing in the past, more than likely you have used it to do unmoderated remote research. It's the thing that most people use user testing for. Things like usability testing and prototype testing, things like that, are done in an unmoderated way. But did you know that user testing also does live conversations? You may also know that as an in-depth interview. It basically is when you're doing a one-on-one or several-on-one discussion, usually through Zoom, and one person tells the other person what to do or asks them questions, and then the respondent is either sharing their screen or simply answering questions. Well, user testing excels at this, and I'm going to show you all about how to do your own live conversation in user testing right now. We're going to start right up here with the Create a Test button, and then as I scroll down, you're going to see the option to select a live conversation, interact live with your participants. So let's click that. As always, you're given the option to build an audience or create a link. I'm not going to delve too much into building an audience today. We've done that in other videos. If you want to do that, just look up in the upper left here, the upper right of the screen. You'll see a link to a video that includes how to set up your audience. So we're going to just hit create a link today because there's some special features in the create a link, in the invite network option that are specific to setting up a live conversation. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to name this. So we're just going to call this tip demo. We're going to go ahead and customize our instructions. And now you've got a few options here, basically just to show when someone clicks the link. So they're going to see your company name. I'll just call this Mic Drop Videos. And then a brief description. Today I'm doing a demo. You would make this a little bit different. And then you'd put in the branded assets, and I could put in the Mic Drop Videos logo right here, or whatever logo you want to have so that it appears on top of the link, the top of the page that people get to when they click on the link. We're going to go ahead and we're going to click Done. Now it's time to provide availability. This is the scheduler, and where we specify information about the sessions we're going to be doing. Right here you can see the option for how many contributors we need, the device type we want them on, and the language they should be speaking. Coming down, we've got some very specific options that are about who can participate in the interview and what that person's going to be able to see. The first one here is who has access to participate in the interview. Now you can see here it's only people that have access, have a license in the Account for Demos account. That is the User Testing Demo account. So if they don't have an account, they will not be able to participate as a co-moderator or as a hidden observer. So what is a hidden observer? Right here, there's an option to stream the interview session for hidden observers. If you toggle this on, a live stream will be created in parallel to the session, which means that anyone that you wish, based on this permissions right here, will be able to be invited as a hidden observer and watch the interview as if they were sitting behind the one-way mirror, essentially. They are not in the session with you, they're not in the room with you, the participant cannot see them, but they are there and able to observe in near real time. There's a few second delay, but you can message back and forth between the host using a separate IM tool to suggest a follow-up question, things like that. That's what Hidden Observers is for. The reason that you do not want people in the actual meeting, in the interview with the host, is that if you have 3, 4, 5 people observing, one person hosting or moderating the interview, and then one person giving feedback, it can seem overwhelming and can very much influence the feedback that you get if one person feels like they're in front of the Inquisition. There's 5 people, there's a whole council that you're answering to. So best to use the Hidden Observers function and just keep it to a one-on-one or maybe even a 2-on-1 interview to get the best feedback. The next option is make the contributor's email visible. Because we're dealing with Zoom and invites and calendars, when you come into the platform, the person's email where the invitation had to be sent is visible by default. You can actually turn this off. So especially if you're doing things with internal employees or just anyone that you already know from a CRM file, things like that, you may want to make the email invisible, make it totally anonymous from a scheduling standpoint. Coming down, then this is where we're going to create the schedule. We're going to provide availability and define the session length and any buffer that we need around the session. So how long do you want your interview to be? You have increments of 30 here. How much time do you want between the interviews? If you want to go back to back, you can do 0 minutes, but typically we like to encourage people to have at least 15 minutes between interviews to take some notes or just to get some water, little bio break. Then you've got how much advance notice. This is typically the hardest one for people to understand, but it's quite simple. How much time do you need between the moment that a participant says they're available for a study and when you can conduct that study? So if you're looking at the calendar down here, you'll see that it is 9 a.m. or it's about 8:45 a.m. and no one is able to select any time between 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. I need at least 2 hours advance notice to know that I've got to conduct a live conversation or an in-depth interview. Obviously, we're at the calendar now. So you see I've scheduled time for 0 of 10 interviews. I don't have any time scheduled on my calendar. So all I can do is I can just do this. I can just start dragging times that I'm available. It's like that. It's so simple to define these times. You can even connect your calendar. Now, all I have to do is say, go to my Google Calendar, go to my Outlook calendar, and I can say, click it here or click it. I use Google. If I click Connect Google Calendar, you're going to see what account do I want to use. Here is my email address, which is probably blurred on the screen. And if I click it, it would then import all my meetings and just ask, do I want to use all of the available times for interviews? Scrolling down below the calendar, you can simply see there's an option for Done. When I hit Done, it is going to provide all of the hours available. I've given 14.5 hours for 10 30-minute interviews. I've got my branding options over here, my company name, my brief description, and I can launch this and get the link, or if I was inviting people from UserTesting, it would just launch and start recruiting people. Once that study is launched or you've sent out the link, you're going to start getting invitations to your calendar as people accept times to complete the live interview, the live conversation. Once the live conversation is completed, it's going to end up right in UserTesting, just like any other unmoderated study. You're going to see the list of people with the playback option, fully transcribed, full sentiment analysis. It's all there. We're not going to go into that today. You've seen all those features before, but this was a very quick demo of how to set up a live conversation in UserTesting. If you need to do those in-depth interviews, this is how you do it. If you want to balance time, do an unmoderated and then only invite certain people to do a live conversation afterwards using their exact screen name. There's another video about that on the channel. Make sure you search for that. That's going to be it for now, but don't worry, I'll be back again soon. Until then, I will see you later.